Lexi Hull has come in and made a huge difference in this game. 6 for 7.
From a 22% three-point shooter to the league's most accurate sniper, and from a rookie finding her rhythm to setting the fastest record for 300 assists, Lexi Hull and Clark have reshaped the WNBA. Hull's transformation into a lethal shooter mirrored Clark's meteoric rise, as she shattered assist records in her debut season. Together, they turned the Indiana Fever from a struggling team into playoff contenders for the first time in nearly a decade. Their journey is about more than personal milestones. It's a story of how two players elevated a team and ushered in a new era of excitement for the WNBA.
Lexi Hull has to fire, and why not? Come on!
Lexi Hull, once a struggling bench warmer averaging just 3.8 points, is now leading the league in three-point accuracy, a transformation no one saw coming. Then there's Clark, who exploded into the WNBA after one of the greatest college seasons ever, shattering records and creating non-stop buzz. Despite being at different points in their careers, Hull and Clark have synced up to create magic on the court. Their chemistry has also elevated star teammates Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston, turning the Indiana Fever into a true force. What began as an unlikely pairing has sparked an electrifying run, reshaping the team and proving anything is possible with the right talent and determination.
It up there and banks it home to beat the shot clock. Clark launching ahead, and Hull with an answer on the other end.
How did Lexi Hull and Clark become the WNBA's hottest duo? It wasn't instant. Their rise is all about grit, growth, and undeniable chemistry. Hull's transformation from a struggling bench player to the league's top three-point shooter is inspiring, while Clark's rookie impact was simply historic. But how did they click so perfectly on the court? What happened next took everyone by surprise, so stay tuned because their journey will leave you speechless.
Lexi motherfucking Hull!
August 18th. Mark it down. That was the day Lexi Hull made her mark. The game against the Seattle Storm wasn't just another matchup. It was Hull's breakout moment. Even she didn't see it coming. At Gainbridge Fieldhouse, Indiana, the atmosphere was electric as the Fever prepared to face off against the Storm. For Hull, this was more than just a game. It was her chance to prove herself. The pressure was on, but something felt different. From the tip-off, Hull was on fire. Her first shot, a three-pointer, nothing but net. And from there, she couldn't miss. Shot after shot, Hull was unstoppable. The Storm's defense couldn't contain her. And by the end, Hull had made her statement. She had arrived.
Boston. Off to Hull. Her three is good.
By halftime, Lexi Hull had set Gainbridge Fieldhouse ablaze. With 15 points on a flawless 5 for 5 from beyond the arc, the whispers in the arena had become a roar. The Fever's bench was buzzing, teammates wide-eyed, knowing they were witnessing something special. As the second half kicked off, Hull kept up the momentum. Her off-ball movement was sharp, her positioning perfect. Every time she touched the ball, it was pure poetry. Quick release, flawless form. Each shot arced effortlessly, finding the net with a smooth swish. Hull was in the zone, and nothing was stopping her.
Hull on the wing. Connects. Slings it over to Hull. Wide open three.
When the final buzzer sounded, Lexi Hull had dropped a career-high 22 points, shooting 8 of 10 from the field. Her three-point shooting? A jaw-dropping 86%, sinking 6 of 7 from beyond the arc. This wasn't just a breakout, it was a statement. Hull had arrived, and the entire WNBA was paying attention. Known for her tenacious defense, Hull had always been a defensive force. Now, with her offense unlocked, she was the full package. In the next game, she earned a starting spot and hasn't looked back. Her defense stayed fierce, but with newfound confidence, Hull became a dual threat, elevating her game and her team to new heights.
Lexi Hull has unlocked that for Indiana. On cue!
Hull's August 18th game was no fluke. Over the next 10 games, she maintained a blistering 70% from beyond the arc, forcing teams to rethink their strategies. Hull had quickly become one of the league's deadliest shooters, redefining her career. And who's been behind her meteoric rise? Stay tuned to find out. If you're enjoying the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Now, let's dive back into the action.
Dropping it in, Boston draws two in the corner. Hull, you bet!
While Lexi Hull was redefining her career, Caitlin Clark was quietly making history. Clark didn't just break records, she shattered them, becoming the fastest player in WNBA history to reach 300 assists. With jaw-dropping performances night after night, she wasn't just making waves, she was rewriting the rules of the game, and in true Clark fashion, she's far from done. As the season unfolded, Caitlin Clark's three-point shooting hit unprecedented levels, with shots flying in from beyond the arc and even the logo. But she wasn't just a sharpshooter. Clark became the first WNBA player to record both 100 three-pointers and 300 assists in a single season. A true triple threat, she could shoot from anywhere, deliver pinpoint passes, and blow away defenders with ease. Her versatility made her a nightmare for opponents, redefining what it means to dominate a court. Caitlin Clark's historic season didn't just elevate her game, it transformed the entire Indiana Fever. Her court vision and passing created endless opportunities for teammates like Lexi Hull, Aaliyah Boston, and Kelsey Mitchell, turning the Fever's offense into one of the league's most dynamic. Clark wasn't just breaking records, she was making everyone around her better, pushing the Fever into playoff contention and leaving fans and analysts in awe of what she would do next.
This league doesn't know what to do with Caitlin Clark. They don't know what to do with the Indiana Fever. It's not just her, Aaliyah Boston, Mitchell, Hull. This team is coming together and Caitlin Clark is loving it. She's laughing at you, Scott.
Caitlin Clark's presence didn't just elevate her own game. It unlocked extraordinary potential in Lexi Hull. Their on-court chemistry was palpable, with Clark's precise passes setting Hull up perfectly for shots. Clark's playmaking activated Hull's shooting prowess, leading to a surge in her offensive performance. Clark's impact extended beyond individual stats, reshaping the entire Fever team. Hull, a defensive standout, flourished offensively, while the team's newfound synergy and unselfish play propelled them into playoff contention. The Fever's transformation, driven by Clark's influence, made them a formidable force. But with success came scrutiny. As Clark's star continued to rise, questions emerged about the sustainability of her historic season and how the WNBA would adapt to a player redefining the point guard role. Caitlin Clark was the full package, a dynamic scorer, top-notch passer, and fierce competitor. As her season unfolded, the WNBA began to question whether her all-encompassing skill set could forever alter the league's landscape. Clark's ability to shoot from anywhere, facilitate with precision, and decode defenses forced teams to rethink their strategies. Defending against a player who elevates her entire team presented a new challenge. Clark wasn't just another great player, she was a game changer. Her impact was evident, not just within the Fever, but across the league, prompting the WNBA to consider how to adapt to this new level of talent. With Clark leading the charge, the future of the WNBA looked incredibly promising and thrilling.
Caitlin Clark is a superstar, not a female superstar. She is a superstar.
We were coming to see Caitlin Clark play.
She moves the needle. The WNBA has been looking for someone who moves the needle.
On September 8th, the Indiana Fever faced the Atlanta Dream in a game that promised to be a pivotal moment in the WNBA season. The atmosphere at Gainbridge Fieldhouse was electric, with playoff hopes on the line. Despite the Dream's early 16-point lead, Lexi Hull and Caitlin Clark stepped up to showcase why they were the league's hottest duo. The stage was set for an unforgettable clash. Hull and Clark seemed to be in perfect sync. Hull, once a struggling bench warmer, now moved with the precision of a top shooter, exploiting every defensive lapse. Meanwhile, Clark played like a maestro, threading impossible passes and nailing three-pointers with MVP confidence.
Mitchell inside, good find, Benley, cross-court, pass hole is open, and hit.
She's delivered, consistently impressing with her ability to score from anywhere and make clutch plays. It's no surprise she's drawn comparisons to some of the greatest shooters in WNBA history, making her one of the most talked about players even early in her career. But with Chennedy Carter calling out the rankings, is it just competition or is there a hint of jealousy? Carter has worked hard to make her mark, and seeing a younger player like Clark get so much recognition could easily feel frustrating. From Carter's view, she's simply pointing out an unfair ranking, believing she's the more complete player, someone who can score, defend, and create for her teammates. While Carter's been vocal about the rankings, Clark has stayed focused on her game. For Clark, the best way to respond is by letting her performance do the talking.
Crazy to me how much disrespect Caitlin Clark is getting in the WNBA right now. So today, the Indiana Fever played the Chicago Sky, and it was a highly anticipated game because, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese. That wasn't even the storyline of the game. This was. Chicago Sky player Kennedy Carter shoved Caitlin Clark to the ground after calling her a bitch. Here's the video.
Call. The question is, will they call it unnecessary? Kennedy Carter.
This to me looked personal. Like this was a cheap shot. And then to make the situation worse, Angel Reese gets off from the bench after this all goes down and is like so fired up and pumped for her teammate that she just like shoved Caitlin Clark to the ground. And when Caitlin Clark was asked about this entire interaction, she said, yeah, that wasn't a basketball play. Yeah, it's not. What do you guys think? Do you think some girls in the WNBA have it out for Caitlin Clark? Because seriously, like,
Clark's approach shows her maturity as a player. She knows not everyone will be a fan, and that's fine. What matters is performing at an elite level when it counts. Clark has stayed focused on winning games and helping her team succeed, avoiding off-court drama. In the WNBA, where competition for recognition is fierce, rivalries like that between Kennedy Carter and Clark are part of the game. Despite any tension, there's mutual respect for talent. With Angel Reese sidelined, the spotlight has shifted, giving Chelsea Carter a chance to step up for the Chicago Sky. Reese was often seen as the face of the team, but now Chelsea has the opportunity to show she can fill that role. However, even with Reese out, Carter still has to contend with rising stars like Clark. If she wants to prove she's among the best, she'll need to make the most of this moment and deliver standout performances under pressure, something she thrives on.
Carter is the Patrick Beverley of the WNBA. She's on her third team, feisty as hell, tough, intimidating, and physical. My only issue in that entire weekend, all these hard fouls, I've got two issues. Number one, why didn't one of Caitlin Clark's teammates defend her? And number two, the WNBA has done such a bad job. They knew the Indiana Fever had the number one pick, and they knew Caitlin Clark was going to be the number one pick a year ago, or close to a year ago. Why have they played 11 games in 20 days? But this is actually kind of like the NBA. There's a Draymond Green, a Dennis Rodman, a Bill Laimbeer. There's an enforcer. Well, who do they pick on? The bench guy? No, they go pick on the star.